GICM, GMCG, what up, y'all? Look, it's great to be back. MCG is, we've hit over 5,000 followers, guys. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate the love, the support. Hopefully, you guys are feeling the heat as well. We've been calling banger after banger on this stream. So, um, pretty big stream here for today. So we have Trench Web 3 coming on today with Segway. So huge conversation there. And Trench is, he has some interesting takes on ICM in general. So I'm excited to dig into to his takes and just kind of see where his head's at. We always want to kind of bring things into a more realistic view versus just kind of being just blindly bullish all the time, right?
That's right, Trench. I see you on the timeline, buddy. You got some takes, so we'll get into those.
I love it, man. I love it. I love the difference in opinions. I love the discourse. It's really important to have. It's no different than investing in a project, right? Like if you're invested in something and someone challenges your thesis or your view or why you're bullish, and you can't combat that. You can't explain, why that FUD is, senseless or why that view holds no weight. If your thesis can't survive, then your thesis wasn't good to begin with. So I like the discourse here happening on the timeline. We've had some discourse with the 11 a.m. guys. Even yesterday with X402, we had some discourse on that as well, and how that brought us back down to reality a little bit. So either way, man, love these takes. Let's see. There's a few things that we want to discuss. I think Mercy had a tweet out.
Yeah. Before we get into ICM, I just want to reiterate something real quick because we're coming up on time here for this 10K Moby airdrop from our partnership with Moby. So go here to this kind of tags MCG as the referral. Again, $170 worth of Moby at current market pricing.
Josh, maybe just send that in the comments too.
Yeah, I'm going to send that into the comments. But the key here is once you sign up, you need to click top left. So a bunch of people have been asking about where to get this. Click up here and you'll get your check your inbox for your airdrop code. So I know there's some confusion out there, but go do that. Supports the channel seriously, so it helps us continue our work. But again, we're really excited about this work with Moby. So please go do that. Please try out the app. It's phenomenal. It should replace Phantom Wallet as your kind of go-to trading area. You have a discount on fees, and it's just, they're really trying to combine Phantom Wallet with Deck Screener and give you a great mobile experience. So also go try it out.
So, man, I just saw a big tweet come out from a partner in the show.
What's the tweet?
We can go over it in a second, man. We got a lot to cover. Are you guys starting to feel it in the giblets here at ICM's?
The giblets.
Pump Fun's got some exciting stuff going on. We got a probably largely overvalued launch on Pump Fund that just happened. And it just feels like ICM's picking up. I'm seeing my whole timeline start talking about it. ICM. They're just finding out, guys. Isn't this crazy?
Dude, not the giblets, bro.
Yeah, no, it's like feeling bigly feeling it in the giblets right now.
I love it. I love it.
Share what you got. Do you have
yeah. Share the tweet.
I'd be happy to.
You can't blast the tweet out on the stream and not share the.
No, I intend to share it, Josh. I absolutely intend to share it, my brother. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run through this. We're gonna run through the ICM.run flywheel. There's a lot to cover. But we'll just start here because partners of the show. Viva just dropped an awesome post, one that we've been waiting for here. I haven't actually read through it, so let's see. Viva app. Yeah, I'm gonna read it live. Viva app X Meet Kai. Okay. For those that don't know, I'm sure they're gonna explain a little bit here. Meet Kai is a massive AI provider. They're really not such a name brand, right? Like, so you hear OpenAI and you're like, whoa, OpenAI is huge. Meet Kai is like the OpenAI of Brazil. and Latin America, right? So their underlying technology powers basically that technology in LATAM and some other countries. So massive partnership here with Meet Kai. But again, you probably don't recognize the name when you hear it first because it is like underlying technology. Still huge. Let's read this post. Alva has partnered with Meet Kai, the global leader in sovereign and functional AI, powering 75 million devices across 30 countries. That's right, 75 million devices across 30 countries. Alva Ad Exchange will integrate into Meet Kai's global ecosystem to deliver advanced conversational AI ad placement powered by localized reasoning models, multi-agent orchestration, and infrastructure built for global scale. A lot of buzzwords there. Basically, what that just said is Alva Ad Exchange, right? The ad exchange that powers Viva, right? We know Viva is a telco company, but what's really the cool thing about it is they have this this ad exchange. It kind of sets it apart and gives them a whole nother revenue stream, which has turned that company around. And I think it's doubled their profits year on year from what it was before. So extremely successful ad exchange. And now they're partnering with Meet Kai to fuel AI ads, right? To deliver advanced conversational AI ad placements powered by localized reasoning models. So again, they have this telco data. It's so dense and rich, they can localize it down. Who's got the most rich data? It's telcos, right? They know exactly where you are all the time, where you're shopping, what you're doing, what's on your phone, et cetera, et cetera. So what happens here is they partner with Meet Kai. Now they have these ads, these AI ads that are extremely localized down to, down to the exact area you're in, right? So blah, blah, blah. Meet Kai's functional AI goes beyond traditional models by performing real actions, accessing live data, and executing contextual tasks across networks, devices, and applications. Again, computer use agents. You need something done. Hey, Viva app, go buy me 10 Solana. It goes and buys you 10 Solana, right? It's functional AI. This brings practical utility to telecom and digital advertising while creating transversal intelligence across the Viva/Alva super app ecosystem. The ad exchange integration combined with Meet Kai's device reach and advanced AI ad placement types is projected to generate substantial additional revenue, accelerating growth across the ecosystem and soon fueling Viva flywheel. We like that part, soon fueling Viva flywheel. Deployment in Bolivia will mark the first AI platform that Bolivians can access and purchase in local currency via the super app. Okay, let's read that again. They can't purchase OpenAI in Bolivia. They can't purchase Claude in Bolivia. This will be the first and only AI you can purchase as a Bolivian. Okay, the one and only, the solo player in town here in the local currency. Competing international providers do not accept Bolivianos, making this the first sovereign AI deployment designed for real inclusion. A detailed breakdown of how the superchargers our roadmap will be released soon. Meet Kai's announcement. You got the news wire here, and you got the tags for Meet Kai. I kind of just went on a little rant there, but that's a massive partnership. Again, 75 million devices. So basically what this enables is now Viva's ad exchange will not only reach the million users they have in their app, it'll now reach 75 million additional devices across 30 countries. So whatever they're doing right now, basically multiply that by 75 million. Maybe my math's wrong. I'm going to have to go and break that down. But that's an insane amount of revenue. And we know that the ad exchange revenue will go back into the flywheel to some extent. So super cool update there. You guys want to take it to ICM.run?
Yeah. I
Maybe
have the tweet
a chart
here.
quick on Viva.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's just do a review of that.
Boo.
I got the Padre chart up. Oh, you got it.
So yeah, this is sitting at 4.8 million right now. 4.8 million.
And just so you guys know, remember 50% circulating, so really 2.4 million in real market cap here. And if you guys look, I'm actually going to pull up my Mobi screener as well and do a little bit of charting on Viva. We're
really starting to consolidate in this range here. It's probably a pretty safe bid here. I mean, downside on this, like what were you wanted to hear?
Yeah, actually, let me see. I'm gonna pull up the daily. And I'm still new to the tools on here. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So the reason I wanted to pull this chart up real quick is just to emphasize one thing. And Josh, if you want to share my screen. So we're retesting like key levels here, right? And retesting very, very key levels here. So Honestly, right here would be like the literal box, be the red box. In this area is literally the place to buy, because as you can see, we have a nice zone here that really hasn't been broken for a long time. When we first popped this all-time high at launch, we came down, we retested it once, we retested it again, and then we broke through, and now we're using it for the SR flip, classic SR flip here. So first retest of support here, second retest of support here, and we're holding above the range. So literally really good area here. 2.4 million market cap to basically get exposure to $1 billion company that is venturing into AI and is the open AI of Bolivia. So I mean, I don't really know how much better you can get than that.
And I'm gonna have to actually just put some respect on their name here. Multi-billion-dollar company.
Multi-billion-dollar
company.
Like multi.
Yeah, like multi.
So there's that. If you guys want, we can switch over to ICM.run.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool. So I actually did not get, and look, guys, look, let me just first, you guys see this, right? I'm just gonna refresh the page. Let's allow Twitter to catch up. You see that? You see that? Okay, I'm just making sure, because every time I share my screen, it says I don't follow someone when I follow them. So, all right, cool. So ICM.run, flywheel, inbound. And I didn't read this, so I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this with you guys. Today, we're unveiling something Web3 hasn't seen before. DAO-centric flywheel for value accrual. So what makes the flywheel different? Well, ICM.run is a DAO, meaning there's no centralized entity to use, to buy back tokens, right, with the revenue. So we've created something totally new and exclusive to ICM.run, a flywheel that puts the power and the value directly into the hands of the DAO members. So how the ICM.run flywheel works. TLDR, if you hold and stake ICM, you'll receive a stream of USDC or Solana straight to your wallet. That's right. We're talking about making your stake tokens not just a governance play, but a direct source of liquidity. Why can we do this? Because ICM.run captures something unique, the value of our deal flow. Now, just to reference this, they have had hundreds of applications to the DAO. But remember, the mentors, what up, Olive, GM, R48, GM, Ave, GM. Yeah, so they have they have hundreds of applications. And so if mentors only decide on, a select handful of these, it's almost like, so yeah, just again, they have a huge pipeline of projects. They are the place to go to. So they actually broke down the numbers. Average number of applications per week, 55. Average referral amount per application, 2,500. And then average vaulted rewards to be streamed weekly, $137,000 plus. So basically, he said, we have the best pipeline of ICM projects looking to launch on Solana, and Launchpad offer referral benefits for bringing them top tier projects. So instead of that value accrual going to insiders, they're channeling that into the smart contract vault that pays out stakers to everyone. And we just read the other day that the team is on at least 50 calls a week, at least 50 a week, right? So that's pretty huge and something to take note of. They're partnered with Pump Fund, Bonk, Soar, Collat, Believe, MetaDAO, Meteora. So obviously huge partnerships there. So how do they scale? So mentors will be going on a tour and co-host 50 plus in-person education events with Web2 startup, hacker houses, indie founder communities, and venture ecosystems in New York, San Fran, Portugal, and more. So they're actually going to basically go on tour. And if you want to get exposure to this, basically you buy and stake ICM, and then you'll see USDC or Solana flow into your wallet from the vault. it's a win-win. So this is basically the flywheel that ICM has come out. Their average vaulted rewards to be streamed weekly is almost 138,000.
How
So keep
okay,
that
so
in mind.
they're generating that from referrals and volume. This is wild. Like 137K is like 400K. That's 4 or 5 million a year. That's amazing.
Wait, so question. How dang 4 or 5 mil a year? That's crazy
This
when
is why I
you
say
annualize.
ICM.run should be valued like a launch pad. Like they're literally getting this, like they're probably gonna be generating more money than most launch pads here just from referrals. And if you go to the comments too, you can see I made a comment. Is this going to be a flat fee or is it going to be dynamic? And Mercy said it's going to be a little bit of both, right? So again, if they have a company that gets on here and goes to $1 billion in market cap and it produces $1 million in fees, it doesn't mean that ICM.run is just going to make that 2,500. They'll probably make a much more significant chunk of that, right? So you have to value this like a launch pad, which is why when I see this at 21 million and it's like the leader for go to ICM, all the best projects are going to launch via ICM.run. It's so obvious.
Wait.
We have Nathan here just on stage or off stage. Chill if we want to wrap this. I know
Yeah,
final thought here.
We'll wrap this and we'll start to transition. And Dom, I know I think you had like a few tweets, I believe. But if not, yeah, we'll definitely transition out. But last thing I wanted to say on this was, so ICM referrals, they make money from the referrals via the trading fees from each project. Am I correct?
That's right.
I wonder what the breakdown of that is.
And a flat initial fee. And it seems like with the launch pads all popping up, it's project quality of deal flow is like kind of the key crux right now.
That's right. ICM literally has that, what everyone's looking for.
That's their moat right now. They have the most
that's
connections.
That's a heavy moat.
Oh, geez. Yeah, because I mean, it takes a long time to build up that pipeline. And he spent the last, how many months doing that. So
all right, chill. We got like 5
All
minutes left. We want to
let's transition out.
Yeah.
And can you bump? There we go. Yeah. Guys, by the way, this is a little last minute speed update here. We got Nate on here about to spit for 5 minutes on this massive update with Meet Kai and Viva. Nate, how's it going, dude? Close a big one.
Yeah, no, we've been working on this project or closing this deal for 8 months, and it's huge for the ecosystem. We're very, very excited. It expedites some of our global expansion.
You have some champagne or something we could open with you? Like, should we be celebrating or what?
Yeah, you guys are always welcome. Come over. So, it's a huge deal, man. Just the reach alone is massive for the ad exchange and for the overall ecosystem. Integrating this advanced AI into the super app is huge for the Bolivian rollout. People just kind of overlook that the Bolivians can't buy things that everyone else can buy because their local currency doesn't accept, or nobody is accepting their local currency. So we're going to have one of the most advanced AI models and a sovereign model for Bolivia. If you look at Meet KI, they're actually huge players in the AI field. A lot of the times they're behind the scenes, but one of their latest projects, they literally they're powering the entire country of Brazil for sovereign AI. There is no third-party types of AI platforms in Brazil anymore. I encourage everyone to look more into who they are, what they do. They do massive scale deployments. So we're basically replicating that model that they did in Brazil for Bolivia, which is huge in itself. But it's a multi-part deal here. We're giving all this value into our ecosystem, but we're also expanding our ecosystem into theirs via advertising. And this advertising that's something nobody's ever seen on the scale that we're about to do it with regards to these conversational types of AI ads. It's really the next generation of what advertising is with ad tech, and then kind of close looping that inside of this massive ecosystem that we've established and that we're actively growing. It's very exciting. It's such a big deal. We're going to be kind of breaking it down for everybody over the coming weeks with different types of videos and stuff explaining kind of what it is, how it impacts, the entire ecosystem, how that impacts Viva. Also going over the Viva flywheel, we're going to be going into more detail in that as well, because the time's coming for certain things to happen.
So walk me through kind of what this means. Obviously, maybe we'll do some numbers here, because Viva, you have like 1 million current users. Now you've got access to another 75 million devices here and across 30 different countries. I just want to understand the expansion scale here and kind of what that means, how that translates to ad exchange revenue, and then how it closes the loop until the flywheel, if you got a second here.
Yeah, the ad tech companies around the world, including ourselves, it's no secret how much our types of companies make per active user. I think I've even publicly stated that numerous times, even on your show, on how much we make, off of our users from advertising revenue. And that's the entire business model of how we expand. And that's what we use Viva as the case study for, is that you can have a completely independent revenue source from telco revenues via advertising revenues. And we've proved that with substantial revenue on the Viva side. And that's only with, the 1 million subscribers that Viva has. So expanding that to 75 million more it's a huge number. But we're not stopping there. We have other deals also lined up where we're expanding this into hundreds and hundreds of millions of more people. So our entire team's been very, very busy on all these types of deals. The phase 4 rollout is very active on the Bolivian front, but it's going to be expedited via these deals on the global expansion, on everything that we're going to be doing on the Viva Global side with regards to global service, making the app available to everybody, and giving very robust and advanced rewards, staking. A lot of huge things are coming to where ultimately all the value is being generated from our users. When the users use the app, that's how we're able to generate advertising revenue. So everything that they earn is where all the Viva tokens that they can redeem and earn, all of that will come from the buybacks that we do from ad revenue. So every expansion project that we do that dramatically increases our advertising revenue directly impacts the entire ecosystem.
So help me understand this. These 75 million devices, will the super app be integrated into each of those devices?
Well, the super app component, we're integrating the AI into the super app. The 75 million is where our expanded network reaches for the advertising component. So the super app ecosystem is all of our own users that we're capitalizing huge amounts of time on. The expanded network, think of that as like a publisher network. As an ad exchange, we have our owned publishers, like what the super app deployments are, which we have a lot of upcoming deals where we're white labeling that super app and kind of copying that Viva model with third-party carriers. That's one aspect, but then there's the publisher network aspect of the ad exchange, which is, all in every country that we go into, we onboard all the top news agencies, we onboard everybody as the publisher network. So think of this as a very advanced publisher network, but it's all via AI, conversational AI, generative AI, a lot of different components that reaches everybody. But since all of that fuels ad revenue, it benefits the entire ecosystem because it's all a part of the same thing.
We have to wrap it there, Nathan, real quick, because we have another segment. But that was a great 5-minute clip. Thanks for popping in here and discussing this announcement. And of course, we got to reschedule with Viva sometime soon. So
yeah,
no worries. Well, like I said, we'll have a breakdown of what we're about to do with them and kind of how that expedites some things on the roadmap. So as soon as we have that ready, I'm happy to hop back on and explain it with you guys.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Cheers.
You guys been staying busy?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet, Nate. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks.
All right, see you guys.
See you.
Dude, that's huge.
The live update. Love to see it.
All right. So we do have Segway on. So just get all the guys brought up on stage. What's up,
Look
guys?
at that, the full squad.
Hey,
Wow, GM.
GM. You guys can hear me all right?
Yeah, we can, and that's some high quality camera you got going on there. Oh, look.
You've never watched the Trench Report? Come on, man.
Am I missing out?
Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah, man. I've been in the Believe ecosystem since bro. I owned probably every single Believe token for like the first month and a half. I'm talking like every single one. I made a comment on your Twitter yesterday, and I was like, "Yo, bro, I owe you money because like I forgot I had Dira in my wallet." I'm like,
dude.
I'm like, "Yo,
let's go."
Dira popped off." I'm like, "Oh, dude, I have everything I've ever held. I don't think I sold one. I've got like Clune in there. I've got Tweet DM. I've got Prompt, Kled. Dude,
He's in there,
bro.
I love that.
I own so many. I mean, for the first month and a half, I mean, Yapper, I mean, dude, Startup, Dupe, of course. Like I've owned them all. So like I'm very, very aware of the ecosystem, and I'm pumped on what you guys are doing. I think it's great for the space.
Sweet, man. Well, we're pumped on what you guys are doing, and we're excited to hear a little bit more because I saw Trent, I think it was you who kind of got a little spat with Maya just standing on this Segway hill talking about, you know, why Segway is gonna maybe be better than Street, just whole back and forth. We're gonna get into that. Maybe I guess we have to start with breakdowns, like you guys, backgrounds, how you guys came together. We gotta start there, right? Yeah. Trent, you want to go ahead and lead us off?
So I have an MBA in finance. I went to Drexel. I'm from the Philadelphia area. I live about an hour south of Philadelphia. I come from a traditional finance background. I had a Series 7 at one point. I'm not sponsored anymore, obviously. I worked in TradFi for like a literal whole year, and I hated it. And then I ended up going corporate, and I was a controller at Johnson & Johnson for a while, which is like a senior accounting position. And then I was there for a while, and then I started a recruiting company with my brother that did really well. It's still operating today. And then I got full-time into Web3. Like I got in 2018, and then I went full-time in 2020. I never looked back. So that's kind of like my journey into Web3, but lifelong builder, entrepreneur. You know, I'm always diving into stuff, but as of recently, you know, I started from a DeFi pass. I got really big into DeFi summer. That was really what was like, that was where I made the life-changing gains. Like that was where like the DAO craze was really where like my life really changed. And then, you know, kind of trudged through the bear market for a while. And then I got into meme coins reluctantly back in 2024 because, you know, like everyone was like, dude, come over to Solana, bro. You got to come to Solana, you know, like come on over. And I was like, oh man, I'm not doing this, bro. Like I was just like unking it real hard. Like I didn't want to like go over, and I'm just like, all right, cool. So I started trading them. You know, this was like pre-pump fund, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm all right at this. I'm not bad. And then pump fund hit. I'm like, okay, this is like a whole movement now. So then that's when I created the Trench Report. Right, like last September, I think it's been around a year almost. Yeah, about a year. I think the channel's been up. And I was really big into covering like that first AI wave was really, really big for me. Like that's what I was covering really, really hard, was like all those first initial AI projects, like Goat, and then you had Fartcoin, and then all the other ones that came with it, like Mother and Kira, dude, all of them. And we held supply too.
Good times.
Like, yeah, those are good times. And then, you know, it just kind of chilled out. Believe hit, that was cool. And then I shifted over to perps. Like I went really hard into perps. So I started trading on Hyperliquid like religiously. And I took what I learned from memes and I brought it over to perps, and I did really well on Hyperliquid. I'm actually a top 25 Hyperliquid trader, but retired. So
why is that?
I didn't like what I saw on 1010, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Like I'm in a private group with some of the biggest perp traders in the world, and many faces and names that you guys would know. And it was bad. It wasn't good. It was like, you know, like people people were gonna, I'm talking suicide, like it was a really bad day, and it was like a wake up call. Like the structure's not here. Like the structure for size is not here. Like something broke that day, and then I made this long video about it. How like I'm done with perps for a while. I'm just sitting on the back end. But for Segway, we've been working on this for over a year, and it like kind of it like goes into like why we're doing this, because there's a big problem in the space. It's a big equity problem. And I think that the equity anchor would be the resolution to a lot of the issues that we're seeing in this space, because when a $2 billion token like Aptos can drop in 85% in 1 second, like, and you have Pump Fund that has, an amazing amount of revenue that's getting lapped by tokens that have never generated revenue. Like there's a problem here. Like we got a problem, and it needs to like, we need to figure out a way to do it. So that's kind of how Segway came to pass, because this has been going on for a long time.
Sweet. Patrick, maybe a quick little background with you, and Howard will jump to you right after.
Morning. I started back in like 2012, 2013. I really got into some ETH mining and built them all from scratch and just started going forward. And then I got into like UI development and the user experience and how you build the dApps and how they interact. And I've just been in the tech world, just building things in the background ever since.
I'm kind of jealous. Where are you based at right now? It looks beautiful outside.
I'm in Los Angeles. I just kind of stepped out of the house to get some quiet time from the kids, and it's a nice like 72 degrees right now. Got the vest on for a chill morning. Got the birds chirping in the background. Nice little,
I'm a Jays fan in Toronto, and last night was a painful game that you guys
that was epic, right? Like,
Yeah,
what was it,
that was
18
epic.
innings? Yeah, we
Yeah.
took you home. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
Yep.
Sweet.
Wow.
And then the Dow King himself. What's going on?
Yeah, guys. I don't know if you guys watch my channel, but maybe not. But I have a couple of YouTube channels. I've been covering DeFi for a long time on YouTube and on X. And yeah, I've been in it for a minute. Before that, I had an internet company, which I sold in 2019. So I'm also a pretty heavy investor in real estate and other things. And a lot of the people I talk to, a lot of the internet companies that I know, this is how Segway kind of came around, was like, hey, we need help raising money, or we want to tokenize, and they don't really have the, banks, VCs, that's not really an option for them. So, myself, Lewis, Patrick started talking, and, and Segway is here. I think it's the right time for something like this to be brought to the public, because there is an innumerable number of companies and real estate assets that want to go on chain. I mean, it's unbelievable, but they just don't know how to. Regulations, there's just so many problems. So, kind of give you a little bit of a background.
He's being modest too. His ecom company did like $1 billion in sales. So don't let him.
Well, that was over like 20
Yeah, don't let him fool you. Either. He's being modest.
So it's not Dow King, it's Humble King.
Humble King.
Yeah,
Let's go.
he's being humble. Yeah.
You guys have been working on Segway for a year now. Is that what I heard, Trench?
Yep. Yeah. So we started building this, and the first route that we went, what we wanted to do is create like a universal multi-stack equity compliance layer that anyone can integrate, that any Web 2 or Web 3 project that is interested in offering equity in any venue or any avenue can do. And they can reach out and touch and be able to do that in a process. And we wanted to be able to automate it as best as we could. Obviously, you can't do all of it automation, but we've done it. And it was a hard road, because there's a lot of compliance, especially when it comes to the United States, because you can't build that kind of stuff in-house. It's extremely difficult. Like the 3 in our name actually has meaning. Okay. It stands for like the 3 main pillars of United States security compliance, right? You have a special purpose broker dealer, you have an alternative trading system, and you have a transfer agent. But there's also integration ability too, but we left that out because that's like kind of like, but that's what the 3 stands for. So like our actual ability to get all of those layers on our own was insane. And you're seeing like RWA chains launching that have raised $50 million, and they're having a hard time doing it, not because they can't afford it. Like, it costs like, millions of dollars, but it takes time. It takes like 2 years or more to get all that compliance. So you see Ondo bought out Oasis Protocol because they have the ATS and they're on like the dealer broker track. So like that was a gigabrain move from Ondo to just like jump the line. You know what I mean? But there's not even a lot of options even to do that. Like, so for us, we had to look for a solution that could check all the boxes for us, that we could integrate and serve the United States. And that's how we came to T0. So there's only 2 options in the United States that have all the layers that we need for integration and all the compliance. That's securitized. It's backed by BlackRock. And they don't really care about equity or RWA that much. They just want TradFi vehicles. And then you have T0, and they love RWA and they love assets. And they loved us because we're multi-issuance partners. We're going to onboard. That's what we're going to do. So that's how that partnership came to pass. But that takes a lot of due diligence too. I mean, we have to register with the SEC. We have to go through full background checks. Like, it's not like, someone in a Milady can just get, like, it's like, you need to really lay it all out there, and they don't even really work with non-US companies. I mean, I'm not going to say they've probably never worked with a non-US company, but it's way harder. Let's put it that way. Like, they do not dick around when it comes to compliance. I mean, they just announced yesterday that they're going public. They're about to IPO. So, I mean, they're backed by the New York Stock Exchange and Overstock. So, like, they're just by the book, and that gave us our American exposure. Now we know we can tokenize in the United States, right? And for our international stack, we have a couple different solutions. A few I can't name yet because, we're still inking them a little bit. There's still some stuff to work out, but Bricken being the other one. Bricken is going to handle our integration stack for everywhere else. So everywhere else in the world, MiCA, if you have overseas exposure, that's who is going to integrate into our platform through that realm. So those 2 work together as a compliance layer to be able to do this. So that's kind of how we're able to offer equity for these existing tokens. And we're able to do it not only in Web 2, but like I said, Web 3. Like, for example, if you take like Dupe, for instance, right? I know Bobby's been really vocal about this because I follow along, and I heard him on the 11 a.m. show say, he's honest, he says it like it is. And, I respect him for that. He's honest. He's like, look, it's Fugazi. The token is Fugazi. Like, I know that. And if there's a way or a track that I could give ownership, I'll do it. But, he's doesn't know that, like, there is a track already and we have it. And he doesn't need to go on a permission chain either. He can do it in a way where he swaps his existing, attention token for an actual equity token that's tied to his business via compliant rails. So if Bobby ever sells his business or decides that he wants to share revenues, holders of this equity coin can just go and claim their revenues right from his DApp, fully built in and integrated through us. So it's not like you have to go on a permission chain. Now, there's some things that have to go on a permission chain. Like if you're a Web 2 company and you're raising from in the United States, right? Like if you're like looking to do a purely United States raise and you don't have an existing token, and you want to go like Reg D status, then yes, you have to be on a permission chain because you're not offering open tokens. Like you're not offering like swaps. All that equity is going to be sold out by the time you tokenize. So that's a different track. But for existing tokens, he could do that right now if he wanted to. Like the rails exist. So there's nothing really stopping him. I mean, it's just about whether or not he's willing to, because like, I think ICM is great. Like I'm all about it, but like, it's been great for companies, but it's not been so great for like the majority of holders. Like we know how to trade, like we're traders, right? Like we're trenchers. So we know the game, but like everybody else loses. And these companies are coming in and they're kind of rinsing us, dude. Like they come in, like some of it's vaporware, some of it's real, and then we believe in it. So we scoop up supply, and then all of a sudden they get some fees or they make a little money and they dump into the chart, and then like poof, they're gone. You know what I mean? Because the problem is their businesses are not reliant on Web3. Like if they succeed, they don't have to be like, oh, okay, here's your money, token holders. No. And I doubt anyone in Silicon Valley even is looking at their token. It's not tied to the company. And that's the problem that we have. There has to be an equity anchor, but it has to be done compliantly. Like you can't just break off United States equity without compliance. Like you're asking to get touched. I'm just putting it like that.
So getting pressed by the U.S. government is a whole vibe. I do have a bit of a question here. So for those that don't understand, T0 launched, they say on their website 2014, but I was actually around the Overstock days with Patrick Barn when he rolled T0 out. It was quite an innovative concept at the time. And if anyone does private checks, the process is normally you write a contract, you get physical shares, you go to computer shares, you then digitalize them, then they show up in your brokerage account. That's kind of like the typical flow. Within T0, I think I understand like why you partner with T0, but like just clarify the relationship between T0 and Segway. Are you guys bringing projects onto T0, or is T0 the underlying infrastructure? You had a lot of stuff in there, but I wanted to clarify.
Okay, so T0 is really mainly focused for the Web 2 exposure that we're going to have. That's where they come in very heavily. Like DK Aaron, he's really in charge of our Web 2 side. I mean, he has relationships with e-commerce businesses that do millions of dollars a year in revenue, tons of real estate throughout LA and Vegas. If you look, we even have 3 signed on issuers. If you go to the Get Started link, you can see some of those. However, T0 is integrated directly into our DApp for the onboard, not only the onboarding process, but also in the compliance process when it comes to like the necessary dealer broker relationship that you need in order to actually sell these securities, because it depends on what route you want to go. If these Web 2 companies simply want to fundraise, then tokenize, well, now you have to be on a permission chain because all those tokens are already assigned. They're already assigned to people, and they have to go to those people and they have to meet those security needs. However, if a project comes along that just simply wants to tokenize and leave it to the open market to buy their equities, they can go a different route, right? They don't need to fundraise through regulation exemptions, unless if they're going overseas, they can pair it. They can do a Reg S paired with like a Reg D 504, so they can serve United States and they can serve worldwide, and you're good to go at that point. But it has to be structured in the framework of the incorporations, and it has to be structured correctly in the framework in the deal, and it has to be handled by licensed individuals, not people, not us. So that's kind of how it works. They're like our compliance layer, more or less, built into our app. If that makes sense.
Let's check it out. So when it comes to other people doing this, like you had that conversation with Maya, who has been on the show earlier, and it seems like he's doing an equity model as well. What's the key difference between what you're doing, maybe something like debt issuance, which is what SOAR is doing, and then equity models like Street Foundation? What is like kind of your key differentiating factor here?
I'm going to try to say this without sounding like an asshole, but I don't really know how to do it. So I'm going to do my best. Okay.
Just shoot it, dude.
All right. Like there's real equity, and then everything else is just theater. Okay. Like that's just what it comes down to. Okay. He cannot offer equity in overseas from an overseas SPV. Like, let's just say Maya buys a company. He buys equity in the United States, right? From a startup. Okay. And he does, let's just say he actually frames it the right way and does a regulation S and register, gets all the compliance layers. Everyone is on the books with the SEC, which is not what he's looking to do. But let's just say he did. Okay. He can't sell the equities. He can't market the equities. He can't do anything with those equities for a year. He can't even touch them. He can't transfer them. Okay. So if he creates a synthetic token, okay, and the token has the name of the brand, it's a securities offering, because you're just going through proxy, and the SEC cares about form. They don't care about like the fact that you structured through a DAO. Like, no legal language is going to protect that. So essentially you've started your company on, you've already violated, the rules of the SEC, but also now you've opened yourself up to multiple violations, because you're talking about 170 companies, and you're structuring synthetic equity just by saying a disclaimer on your white paper. It's not going to protect you. It didn't protect Lofty either. Lofty just got sanctioned by California, and now the government's coming next because they tried to pull the same like under the table, roll the dice bullshit. And it just doesn't work. There's either equity offerings or non-equity offerings. There is no in between. Like, for example, if Bobby from Dupe wanted to do what I said he could do, okay, there's no free lunch with equity. Like, you'd have to take your Dupe token, go on his DApp, claim your equity token. You have to KYC for that, okay? Because there's no automatic like wallet layer where I can verify humanity. Like, you cannot transfer equity right now at all without verification of humanity. Maybe one day we'll get there. Maybe 5-10 years, perhaps the rails will be built. But as of right now, there has to be a human layer. But what's cool about the swap model is the fact that, let's say Dom goes and takes his dupe and does the equity swap for the dupe share token, okay? He can transfer that token anywhere he wants. If enough people do it, they could start a liquidity pool if they wanted to. Now, private companies are only valuated once a year. So if you're trading like way above the valuation, and then like, a 940 gets filed and the next year, and then like his valuation is a lot lower, the token will speculate probably lower. But like, what's cool is you got a year in between to speculate between it. But for example, if Dom sells his equity token, he can't go back and claim the revenue shares. If Bobby magically sells 10% of the company if he sells it for $1 billion, the whole company, Dom can't go get his share of that 100 million anymore because he sold it. But the next guy who has the token can go back on the DApp, KYC, and show his ownership. But Dom only needs to KYC once and just buy more of the equity token, and now he's on the books for owning it. And we don't do the KYCs, just like Legion and Echo and every other IDO that's doing KYCs. Like, no one is the custodian of that information. That's illegal. That's got to be done compliantly through a KYC AML layer that we do not have access to. So keep that in mind too. Like, people get jammed with the whole KYC things. Like, oh, I got a KYC, but it's like, bro, like, it's not stopping Kobe. It's not stopping Legion. It's not stopping any of the other IDO platforms. You've already KYC'd with every exchange imaginable. And now Bobby's offering you equity that you can trade or just speculate on. It's like, I would KYC for that 100%, to be an owner of that company in a tradable token that I can sell. Like, there's got to be a trade-off.
So Trench, help me understand this here, because you said if enough people come together, they can create a liquidity pool, depending on how many tokens they have. So if there is no liquidity pool created, would I have to essentially OTC my equity tokens?
Well, you don't have to OTC. You don't have to do anything.
Sure.
The token is the equity. It's an equity assigned token.
Well, let's say there's no liquidation event. I want to sell my tokens. Would I have to OTC in that case?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And would you guys facilitate that, or no?
It's up to the issuer. It's up to him. It's not up to us. We're simply.
Yeah. Can I? So like we have some companies. We have some companies that are like we're cool with the liquidity pool. and some are like, oh, we would prefer it to be traded like you guys said on an OTC. So it's going to depend on those companies that we're talking to. Like Keep Healthy, he's cool. He's like, I like the idea of having a liquidity pool. So it just depends on who it is. Other ones might not. Now, if you look at Lofty, when they issue their, I don't know even what it is, it's their token or whatever, and it's trading on their website, the value of it isn't very good. It doesn't really hold any value because they're not doing very much due diligence. So on this side, we're doing a lot of due diligence. We're making sure the real estate isn't like the subpar. I mean, Lofty has like, I mean, if you look at the real estate they offer, it's like literally broken down homes that need $50,000 or $100,000 worth of like work. It's insane. This is not something you can tokenize. You guys have to understand, like, there's a lot of people out here that don't understand like real estate, and you're selling them a $50 token in something. You're saying you're going to get 8%. That's all they're looking at. They're not looking at the facts. So that it's going to cost X amount of money to fix. It's going to cost X amount of money to operate. They don't have any of that. We're bringing you all of that. That's why Lofty and these other systems, once we launch and once we get a couple deals, it's going to revolutionize what's going on. It's going to be real transparency that you can see. This is the maintenance cost. This is the real cost. And the property we have on there is, you know, there's a tenant in there paying $60,000 a month in rent. So it's a completely different structure. You're going to get your money. You're going to get it every month. Their cap rates are there. The maintenance is there. This is what it is. This is the triple net. It's all transparent, and it has to be like that. And I haven't seen anyone do it like that, by the way. This is totally revolutionary for the space.
If you click on Get Started, you can see the three clients we've onboarded already. They're already 100% signed. So those are three, but those are three Web 2 offerings. We haven't even tried to even penetrate Web 3 yet. I mean, you don't need to be like an already existing Web 3 company like Dupe that would probably, I think Dupe would sell it out instantly, personally. Like if Kled were to do this, or Dupe, or a bigger project, I think it would sell out immediately. Because here's the thing, the utility token is redeemed for the asset, right? For the equity token. But you have to burn it out of existence because you're issuing the equity token. Now, these companies got a choice at that point. They could say, okay, well, I've made so much money from this, excuse my language, shitcoin through fees and selling into the chart and all this stuff. I don't need to get paid for that portion of equity that I just gave away and got burned. But if they must take money for that equity, they could always take the one-to-one swap, burn it, and then pull that exact value from the liquidity pool. So everything is exactly the same. You took one token out, you took the value out of the liquidity pool, so nothing has changed. But I think that's kind of a dick move for the project to do, since they made so much money in fees from, like, you know, selling into the chart and all that stuff. I think they should let it go personally, but that's up to them. It's not up to us. We're just a facilitator and doing what you want us to do, right? That's all we're at. We're a compliance layer and a marketplace. That's it. But
so I got two questions then that kind of stem from that. Number one, obviously your big crux here is deal flow, right? You got to get these companies coming on and doing this with you guys. So number one, how do you look at deal flow right now? And then number two, we keep going back to Dupe and Bobby. And you said, well, if Bobby wants to make his tokens equity right now, he can. Would that require him to put, or I mean, people can choose, of course, but would that be a one-to-one swap of equity to token, right? He's got 100% circulating tokens. I think he owns like 22 to 25%. How, or would he choose, hey, I'm going to sell 10% of my equity to this token holders who swap?
Right. It's up to him. He can delegate all of the conditions. So for instance, not a lot of people know this, but Hacken has done this already. Hacken did this in 2024. Okay. And they did it in like secret, but that's how we knew the model was possible, because they did it. They took, and you know, Hacken, right? One of the largest Web3 auditing companies like in the world. And they do like 30 to 50 million in revenue a year. They said, okay, we're going to take 10% of our company and we're going to do an equity swap. Same thing I'm talking about. And it got bought so fast that $3 million worth of the equity swap literally went to 12 holders.
Oh, geez.
12 people bought it all. Like, and I think that was some VC shit, which like was kind of like, come on, man. Like they probably bought it all, if you ask me, but they opened it to the public, and you decide how much equity you want to part with, and you decide how you want to fractionalize it. Like you can do it in X amount of shares against how many tokens you want. You can do equal value, or you can say, okay, you need 5 tokens for one equity token, or however you want to denominate it. It's up to you, really.
And can you touch on that deal flow again? What does that look like? Are you guys boots on the ground, evangelizing to each business, or like how does this look?
So Aaron DK is the Web 2 guy. He is plugged in very, very heavily across Southern California, pretty much nationwide when it comes to real estate. 100%. He's got access to unbelievably great brands in the Web 2 space. Whether or not they're going to tokenize 100% of their equity or the equity that they're offering, they may want to do a fundraise in Web 2. It depends on how they go. But no matter what, they have to pay us for our services. And we take services in their equity. So even though they might not do an offering like Bobby would do, we're going to have some to offer because we take supply on those deals. So like these 3 properties, they may fundraise, they may not. But either way, if they do, we're going to have 1 to 5% of supply of these RWAs that you could take the Segway token and actually swap for what's in our treasury. But once it's out of our treasury, that's it. Like you can't get any more unless it goes on the market for them. So that's Web 2, the Web 2 front facing part. Web 3, it's just about applying as much marketing as possible, creating a movement. Basically, my goal is to be like the Jimmy Hoffa of like tokenized equity, right? Like I want there to be like a union. Like it should be a union. Like we should come together to get this, because I think that it's only going to take one big token. One project is going to do an equity swap, and it's going to break the space. Because like think about all the ancillary benefits. Like your sentiment is turned upside down immediately. Like if you got bad sentiment, now you're a hero. Like you gave part of your company. Like who else is, no one else has ever done that. And it's just like, it would be an unbelievable narrative that would, I think, go far beyond even crypto Twitter. It would be a really big deal. And it would really set the precedent for all the other projects to do the same and start to give back ownership to the holders, because like some of these projects are making money, bro. Like there's no reason that Hyperliquid has to buy back and burn their token. That's artificial scarcity. They could instead take a portion of their equity and say, okay, we're going to offer an equity swap, and this is what we'll offer to you guys, and we'll cut back on the buybacks. So now you're not relying on artificial buy pressure, because a bear market comes, then what? What are you going to do with that? Like, you think they're going to buy back and burn the same way in a bear market that they're doing right now? No, they're going to scale that back. What it does is it gives this ICM is great, but it needs to be better for the holders and not for the companies. Like they get to issue this token and keep 100% of the company to leverage at will anytime they want. I mean, look at Padre. They only walked that back because they got pressure to do that. You know what I mean? They weren't going to offer shit. They were just going to sell to Pump Fund and be like, you know what? Whatever, guys, later. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to avoid. That's the problem. Like, you should own this shit. And I think it's going to take one pioneer. Like, we're not like, we don't build for product market fit. We build for the future. Like, we build with vision, right? Like, we're not going to release a predictions market because it's hot today. Like, we're trying to be where the hockey puck is going, and I think equity and ownership and internet capital markets is the next big meta, right? So why not add to the stack in real equity? That's my take.
What's your take on ownership coins? We've seen like the MetaDAO concepts of the world. That's not necessarily that doesn't have anything to do with equity, but it does kind of give token holders ownership. What are your thoughts on them?
My thoughts on MetaDAO is I commend Profit for trying to protect holders. I will always commend somebody for trying to protect holders' interest. And I even commend Maya for trying to move towards ownership, because he's trying to construct something that maybe it has a lot of holes, but it can get there if he chooses to go compliantly. Like, I commend him for that. But the issue with like MetaDAO is that, like, as a founder, I can't make decisions on short-term price short-term price movements. Okay. Like, if you ask any of the top 100 builders in this space that have ever existed, ask them if they gave a shit about what their price was at any given time in their first 5 years of growth. What they will say 100%, we didn't even look at price. Okay. What if price was navigating Solana when it was $8? So it's like, I like it because it protects people, but I just don't know how it aligns founders for long-term success if every decision they make is commensurate with like a short-term price movement. That's my problem with it. Otherwise, and he's always tweaking it. He's really open to change, which I like about him a lot. Like, he's always adjusting and like acknowledging, like, okay, maybe this is wrong. This is that. And so I like that. I really like that about him. And I think he can get there. I just, for founders, it seems like a difficult model, man, because like, you just don't know what could happen. You're a startup founder. Like, shit can go wrong. Things can explode. You know what I mean? Like, you guys run a startup, like, obviously we're not working with like machinery in the real world. And it's a lot easier to manage when it's just a dude in an office coding. But like, still, like, what if you got to make a critical hire, or money's got to go off chain sometimes? Like, it just seems like a bottleneck of an issue. But I do like, I'd say overall, it's cool. Overall, it's cool.
I want to talk about your token a little bit, because this is important. I'm trying to understand that model there. You said you charge a service fee, 1 to 5% of each company that comes through you guys. That then goes to a treasury, if I'm understanding correctly. And then you can use the Segway token, which I would imagine is tied to your equity in your company, to exchange for the equity in these companies.
Correct. So we'll have the same type of track. We'll have a utility token and we'll have an equity swap. So the utility token, we're still kind of massaging this a little bit, but as it stands right now, you'll be able to use our token to claim the equity of any asset that we hold on our marketplace. That'll be contingent on the deals that we make. So, you can white label the solution and put it on your dApp in your own marketplace, and you don't have to include us, whatever. But we want to be able to offer your offering on our dApp, where people can at least claim for the treasury portion that we have. And that's not the only way we make money either, by the way. That's just one of the areas. Like, I sent you a flywheel, slide. So we're not reliant on Web3 for revenues. I'll just be 100% blunt. A good portion of our revenues could very well come from Web2 as well, because fundraising in Web2 is expensive, and these are huge offerings. Some of these could be Reg Ds that, raise 10 or $20 million. And we're assuming all the cost for this. Like, we assume all the administrative cost. We're going to assume all of the marketing cost. We're a complete incubation hub, right? We're an engine. So basically, for us taking that enormous amount of risk, we're charging a success fee on that raise, which we're allowed to do. So that success fee is also part of our treasury as well, where people can claim that. So, for example, if there's a raise, I can't throw out an exact percent, but if there's a company that, we're spending, several $100,000 for their fundraise, we could take a success fee that's significant, and that would go immediately in our treasury for part of our revenue share. So the Web2 portion is we make money from the Web2 fundraise, right? Or Web3 fundraise, either or, right? If we're going to fundraise for you, we'll be like any ICO pad, right? So there's that. Then there's there's the actual marketplace, which is to trade and actually sell on the marketplace, right? There's a fee, the same there'd be like with any other RWA marketplace, like Lofty or anywhere else, right? We charge a percentage of the fee. And to list on the platform a small portion of tokens, right? We want Web3 on board. We're not going to like crush you, you know. And then there's obviously the third stream, which is the Web3 side of it, right? So we have the marketplace revenue, we have the Web3 onboarding, and then we have also the fundraising as well. And then we have there's another stream we're going to add to this, which is actually integration. So let's just say like Echo, for instance, wants to start offering actual equity. Well, they can take our stack and just basically put it right into their platform. And now Kobe can offer actual equity, and we can cross integrate any way we want. And I think that there'll be ICO platforms that'll jump at this. And the reason I believe that is because they're already on a compliance track. They already KYC you. They already have like they're already on that track anyway. So they don't really even need to do anything extra to even implement this, right? They have to do, they're just offering an equity token as opposed to like a utility token. But like, it's the same type of KYC. Like there's no difference, right? It just has to be set up properly.
You guys mentioned you're out of pocket for a lot of this stuff. What does the team look like? I mean, you probably have a massive team of lawyers as well, and there's lots of lawyer fees. I don't know. What does that look like? Size? Yeah.
Aaron, you want to?
Well, I mean, we do have all the compliance parts, but that's also why Segway is also going to be doing a raise, because a lot of that compliance is going to cost us probably quite significantly. There is lawyers involved. Actually, the lawyer we had used to work for the SEC, so wow. We're covering ourselves correctly, and we're making sure we have the right people in place. But to bring a project to tokenize the project in a legal compliant way, it's a process. It's going to cost some money, and then there's marketing. The marketing is going to cost some money. So that's why Segway needs to raise money. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to use those funds for the first couple of projects. And, that's kind of the goal here.
Right. But like all the initial integration framework, all the legal, everything as far as like us being compliant was all out of pocket. So depending on what they're looking for us for scope, right? I mean, if they simply just want to tokenize on the marketplace and handle their own marketing, and they want to form the company structure, and they have a good lawyer, and they just want us to review it and just make sure everything's above board, then things cost less. But if you want us to hold your hand through the entire process, we'll do that too. We'll basically completely onboard you. We just ask that you just be cooperative, like give us the financials, like give us the incorporation documents, and just give us what we need, and then we can move. It doesn't take long to onboard at all, actually. Like you can.
How long is that process?
Not long at all. Every single offering is different. But let's say you were an offshore company, like let's say Dupe wanted to do this, right? I think they're under Carrot Card Incorporated, if I believe so. I think that's the parent company. I don't know if that's the DBA or the parent company, but he could do it if he wanted to. Obviously, he's from the United States. So the first thing we'd have to do is establish an SPV that would hold the equity, which would take a couple different exemptions. So he could also serve the United States, but he can actually start the sale as we're in the process. So it's not hard to onboard because we have these compliant layers. We have like these direct integration to these branches. So we don't have to like sit around and wait by mail or sit around and try to figure out exactly what we're missing, because we can streamline this information. We can streamline the data. So that's where we come from, like as far as like go to market speed. And that's why we are the fastest RWA go to market solution, because the fact is we handle all the compliance, and that's the worst, most annoying part of this. And as I mentioned, most of these RWA offerings don't even have the compliance. So they're like scattering right now, you know?
So I do have a question around this. Obviously, we've seen the SEC come out and make statements around like, hey, we think American entrepreneurs have spent way too much money and effort dealing with securities laws versus just being entrepreneurs. I wonder what your take is. I mean, obviously, nothing's been set in stone, I don't think, but these are kind of directionally interesting. Like, do you see that there's going to be just kind of a million flavors of these things that are just, you get out there? Are they going to create a whole new framework? Like, what are your comments on Paul Atkins' comments?
I think that the SEC, I think the Clarity Act is a great thing, but I don't think, like, don't expect miracles. Like, it's not going to make United States real estate, business, and assets not securities. Like, that's not going to change. Okay. What it's going to help with is identifying what token is a security and what isn't a security, right? Like, if you look at Ethereum's technically a non-for-profit foundation, right? But if I stake it, I can earn Ethereum. So it's like, well, am I making revenues? You're a nonprofit. That's like where the murkiness is, like in like existing frameworks. But like, as far as like when you cross into that equity boundary, I don't see them saying, okay, well, this isn't an equity anymore. Okay, like that's not going to change. What will change, I think, is clarity around the laws of, how to classify these tokens the right way. And I think what will change is the rails that are going to make our job like even faster and easier. Like, imagine if there was an oracle that was tied directly into like the California Real Estate Commission that could then look into the county department of record, then could also report to the government in one humanless function. Okay. That is what the future is going to bring. That is what I'm seeing is going to happen. And we're far from that. Like, that ain't happening anytime soon. Maybe 5 years or something. But again, as of right now, I think it's going to help with clarity. I just don't think it's going to like reclassify what a security is. But Aaron, what's your thoughts, man? I don't know.
It's hard to tell. I mean, you just kind of have to let these things play out at the end of the day. And also because there isn't 100% clarity on stuff, you get a lot of stuff like lofty. So you're going to see projects like this kind of just skirting the rules. And honestly, it's okay, because then you get to see how far you can push it. So we're going to get to see in the next probably year or two how far people are going to try to push this. And honestly, it's going to be fun to watch.
So what are you guys' thoughts on the market structure bill? We know that's coming up. Do you feel like that's going to affect anything? Is that going to affect the way you guys or maybe any players within ICM operate, or how companies tokenize?
I think the it's going to give a little bit more clarity, but I still don't think they're going to be addressing some of the issues that we're trying to address, just because they always seem to miss out details. So what you're going to see is you're going to see people just playing around with the rules and getting a little cutesy with it. And honestly, probably 9 out of 10 times, because this administration is so lax on a lot of stuff, probably going to get away with it realistically. But we'll see. I don't know. What do you think, Lou?
I think that if I remember correctly, and don't quote me exactly, but it's more towards like commodities, right? It's like, this is the thing that like people really don't grasp about like ownership and equity. Like, equity is like, it's a whole other thing. Like, I could go to Charles Schwab right now and like take a 2x loan on my stock portfolio because I have equity, or I could take a HELOC on my home. I would never do that, but equity is like a whole other classification, like commodities. What's a commodity? What isn't? Market structure. Yes. That, like, some clarity there. I don't know, but like company equity, it's not going to change. There's always going to be owners, right? If you guys have talked to VCs, I'm sure. Okay. Ask them what they want first above anything. Okay. Ask them that and ask honestly, okay, what do they want? Equity, okay? Equity. They're probably taking the equity and the token, but they want the equity first, okay? Because they know that the token has no correlation to how the company might perform in real life, okay? So again, back to the pump fund thing. There's no reason that pump fund shouldn't be a top 15 token right now. The miscorrelation is nonsensical. Like it's ridiculous. So they're like, you know what? We know that these tokens don't represent the value of the company. So get the equity first. First they get the equity, then they're like, yeah, we want the tokens too, because now I could double dip. And I'm not shitting on VCs. Like, we're talking to VCs. So it's like, I'm not shitting on it, but it's the truth. And ultimately, like, it's still risky to be a VC, like in Web 2 or Web 3, but like, Web 2 doesn't have that vehicle, right? It doesn't have a token vehicle. So like, if I invest in a startup in Web 2, like, I got to ride with you maybe for 3-4 years. I might not make a dime for a long time. But in Web 3, the company could die a lot faster, but like, yo, I got these tokens I can sell. Okay. Like I can invest this and just dump for the next 5 years, you know, with these crazy ass valuations. So it's like, for me, I think that like, equity is the goal for them. It should be the goal for us too.
And to close that loop for what Trench is talking about, guys, we'll typically see these VCs literally buy equity from crypto projects rather than over buying the token. And so what Trench is saying here is, well, if VCs, you know, if the real smart money is buying equity, why would anyone want to buy tokens, right? They're just the exit liquidity. They're the losers in the whole situation. So Trench is saying, change this whole thing, let them buy directly from equity. Interestingly enough, we're seeing a lot of liquid funds really lean into the ownership coins for MetaDAO. And I think it kind of shows the direction that liquid funds and venture really wants to head into. They weren't buying Believe tokens, or at least to my knowledge, they weren't buying Believe tokens, but they are buying, you know, at least ownership coins. So the direction is clear there. Yeah, we're coming in on an hour. We want to respect your time, guys. We appreciate you talking. Maybe give us some.
Just on that real quick, I wonder to hear your thoughts, Trench, because Believe is really like changing their app and how they work a little bit. Do you have like feedback for Believe and how they can move to that direction a little better? Or is Believe cooked on ICM?
You know, it's crazy because like you minted more tokens, but you could have just gave the equity. You didn't have to mint the tokens. And it's a perfect thesis on everything we've talked about right now, right? I can issue this token that has no bearing on my company whatsoever. It doesn't lower the equity or value or revenue range, okay? But I can give equity. Like, no, I'm just going to do this because it doesn't, I get to keep everything, right? And I don't think that was a bad look. I don't think that was a great look. Maybe he didn't think there was a path when I'm showing you that there is. But again, like, I think that like, delivery has been a problem for Pasternak. And let me tell you, I owned Pasternak when it was called Pasternak. I bought the token the day it launched and I held it for the entire time. So I believe, dude, I had it when it was called Pasternak. So like, I know the whole model. And I think that, you know, Believe if we get a flywheel and maybe some type of actual ownership, equity ownership is involved, not Fugazi or like equity theater, but real equity. And he makes a bold move. It takes a bold move. And I think he could flip sentiment like that. I think if he did something like this, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit because now he's won back trust. So he's made a lot of money and you know, but it's money we're extracting that's being extracted from crypto natives, right? Retail never came back. So it's not healthy extraction. It's you know,
this is a debate I really want to dig into. I want to have just like a big launchpad war and have you guys talk to Maya, you guys talk to Believe, and just see who kind of can hold their ground the best. I think that's something I might set up here.
Dude, we're not technically, I mean, here's the thing, like we're not like technically trying to be a launch pad. Like we're trying to work with anyone who wants to actually offer equity, right? Like if Legion tomorrow or Kobe's like, hey, I want to integrate with you guys. we'll do that. Like we're launchpad agnostic. Like we could launch these assets. We could do that on our marketplace, and we intend to. But like our goal is just to get equity to people, like that, to the holders. That's it. Just so you know. But I'll get on there.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's still important to have, like, just that varying opinion. I mean, you have a different perspective, you have a different viewpoint that you can bring to it. And yeah, you're not a launch pad technically, but I feel like a lot of people, they like ICM.run, where you might be familiar with those guys, they get compared to being a launch pad all the time. But I would venture to say that you guys are kind of a little bit similar. You're not a launch pad. You're just offering services to people that need it. That's really all it is. And in your case, it's centered around equity.
Yeah. And we're trying, ICM.run, I know from Stewed Home and I like the community that they're building. I think it's great. I mean, they could integrate with us. Like they could use our services. Like they don't need to have projects that even have a lick of revenue, right? They can do direct equity offerings instead of direct ICO offerings. So it's like, yeah, I mean, like, I guess it's similar in ways. However, like we just maybe have like a little bit of a broader go-to-market, right? I mean, we're not like centered around like meme coin ecosystems, so to speak, I guess. But like we're here to take them from meme coins like to actual ownership, right? Like Dupe's a real company. Like Kled is looking like a real company. Like these are looking like actual real companies that aren't relying on Web3. So like
major growth companies too at that.
Dude, yeah, you want to own those. Like you want to get your hands on that. You know what I mean? Like that's the equity you want. Like, so again, it's gonna be interesting to see how things come out once we start really marketing and actually getting out there,
Well, I guess that's the next thing, right? I mean, what are you guys excited for? Like, what's coming up for you guys? I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier in our conversation, but I just wanted to dive into that a little bit. What do you guys got coming?
Well, right now, I mean, we wanted to make sure that the stack was ready to go from day one. We didn't want to actually even stand anything up until it was ready to go. So we have that advantage where we can go to market immediately. However, we are doing a raise. So as far as the raise is concerned, we're speaking with a couple of very well-known ICO pads, and we're also speaking with VCs as well. But again, we're looking for alignment more than like check size, right? We want people that believe in the vision of what we're trying to do rather than like, oh, okay, like, like what's your product market fit? And like that term like irritates the shit out of me because like if you talk about like every builder that has ever done anything great in this space has never built for product market fit, right? He built for vision. Okay. He didn't build because there was anything there at that moment. He had a vision and he saw what could be instead of what is right in front of his face. Okay. Like when Poly Markets was being built 4 years ago, did anyone even know what a prediction market was? No, right. It was a vision. It was a vision. And that's what the best companies in this space have is they have a long-term vision and they don't try to just chase narratives, right? So like that's kind of what we're looking to be aligned with our vision and who we're looking to raise capital with. And as long as those things align, we're good. But that's kind of our stage. But we're going to start scaling marketing more AMA, more visual, more post, just educational articles, just trying to cross-pollinate communities and offer help where we can offer help. Like we're not going to try to like charge you crazy amounts of money so you can give equity to your community and to your projects. Like if ICM.run says to me tomorrow, like, yo, we want to do this. Okay, well, like let's do it as cheap as we possibly can so we can get this out there, right? So let's try to like figure out a path, like we want to grow as well, So
I guess like when is this kind of like initiative of marketing going to kick off? I mean, I know there's probably not too much that you can say, but I have the reason for the question is I have this thesis around just all these ICM players. I mean, I don't know if you see Soar, Street, You see Believe coming out with the flywheel. You see Dev Fund Pump and involved in the pump fund ICO pivot. So I just feel like just within the next few weeks in November, just there's a lot coming for ICM, and I'm seeing that you guys have something powerful to offer based on our conversation here today. And excellent conversation, by the way. So I mean, when can we expect something from you guys? You guys throwing your hat in the ring in November?
Yeah. I would say expect the marketing to start to scale probably by November. I mean, we are like figuring out the best path to go upon, like how we want to initiate the marketing. We're not hiring agencies. We're not doing paid KOL shills. Like, we want believers. We want people that want to have the same initiative as us. Like, we're not like your Solana rent a KOL. Like, it's not happening. Like, we want to, we all know the deal. Like, we've all seen the price sheets. Like, it's just not going to happen. So like, we're looking for like more cross pollination. Like, we're with we're with the RWA Foundation, and they're partnered with Solana. They're partnered with some huge names, and we just talked to the head of the RWA Foundation, and, we're just trying to cross pollinate where we can and, create as much organic community and knowledge around it. But we're definitely going to be looking to scale in November, I would say.
Man, I love to see that. I mean, going back to what Dow King mentioned earlier, it is going to be fun to watch all these things play out in parallel, because literally you don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to offer the best or what's going to gain traction. We don't even know what's going to come in the market structure bill. And my thing is, like, that's going to be a huge pivot point for the market. So we don't know what's going to happen, but I just think that, this is just such an exciting time to be a fan of utility, right? And like, that's what we've been focused on this show. We've been a fan of, who's offering something real, who's offering something that we can actually like get behind, that holders can feel aligned on and believe in. So that's what brought us to ICM. But I'm just so happy to see it evolve into this much more important conversation. And so many people have so many different takes. So, man, it's been a pleasure speaking to you guys today.
So, pleasure's all ours, man. Thank you for having us. And if there's anything you need from us, we have channels. We would love to promote and help any way we can. And we're stoked to see what happens, man. We're really excited because, I mean, like, even some of the products that got bailed on, they worked. You know what I mean? I don't know if you remember like some of the earlier Believe stuff, like some of that shit worked. Some of that shit worked. like the agent market, like the agent marketplace, like Dira, like that worked. I knew it was bullish. It just wasn't its time yet. That's why, like, it's like some of this stuff is cool, and it'd be cool to be an owner of it. So we're excited.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'll tell you this. I know you guys are ramping up in November. If you you want to pop back in and share some news, we oftentimes find that sharing stuff direct with your community, live on stream, where you can demo a piece of the website or drop some news, what have you. If you guys would love to come back, we'd be happy to have you, man. I know you guys are working on a lot of big things. So again, great conversation. This was mind-blowing. I'm not gonna lie.
This was awesome. No, this was awesome. Because like, you guys are like me. Like, you have like the trenching, and then you have like the ownership, like metas down. Like, you get it. Like, you guys get both of it. And that's how, like, I feel, you know what I mean? So it was perfect conversation.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Talk soon.
All right, man. Talk soon. See you.
All right. See you guys. Bro, what a convo. Takeaways?
I'm questioning everything.
Same, Dom. Dude, like, there's just so many like different rabbit holes that you can go down, and so many different takes on that. I really like the equity model that they have. I really like that.
Look, we need to get there. We need to get in that direction. So I would be interested to see a conversation, kind of live between some of these other guys that are offering what he called this Fugazi equity or this theater equity, compared to them, and just see how it stacks up, side by side, what they offer versus what they offer, and just benchmark them. Because I think it gets pretty technical down to that point. So cool stuff, though.
I mean, look, I think your Launchpad Wars is a perfect concept.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can put something like that together. So if you guys are watching and you're in MetaDAO, if you love Street, if you love Soar, if you love Pump Fun, if you love ICM.run, like smash your communities, like let them know that MCG is about to put this thing together, and it's not a way of dividing anyone or we're better than you, we're better or anything like that. It's just more of a point of
they got to be able to
don't
stand on
have
business.
yeah,
Yeah.
like does your
we want to
thesis
know
hold weight?
what's real of these models. So, and I think having Vibu or Caveat cameos would be good from people we've had on in the past. Just see how this conversation's evolved, but it's definitely happening. Yeah, let's. I don't want to give out our ideas publicly on stream, but we will get a format lockdown on that this week, and then we'll announce it. I think we need to do something around that.
Sweet. Do you guys want to? We're at an hour and a half. Do you guys want to cover some of the markets, or?
Yeah, let's do it.
What are you thinking there?
Let me see.
We got to cover your call chill on stream, Ace. Honestly,
oh my gosh,
looking at this like.
So I'll show the. Let me see if I can bring up the chart here. Yeah, no, Ace is going crazy. I actually might even be giving an entry here. Let me share my screen.
Chill called it yesterday. 800K, guys.
So here's my here's the Ace chart. Basically yesterday on stream, I showed you guys the thread that I did. I showed you guys the the credentials of the dev. And I basically said, like, look, the dev is working on like X402 integration, and it's low-key kind of like a competitor of PayAI. And that's exactly what proved to be. And it went from 800K all the way to almost 8 mil. So that was almost a clean 10x from yesterday's stream. So hopefully you guys caught some value on that. And yeah, I mean, it's pulling back a little bit. I want to say this is I don't even know. I don't have my fib set up on here. But let me see. Yeah, it looks, it's not 618, but it's very near golden pocket. But yeah, it's nice little retracement. If the narrative holds weight, we can probably see this rebound again. I did post a thread, and I think this is a good thing to cover real quick before we get to another chart. And I have one last thing that I wanted to show you guys, because I got a call. I don't know. I got a message, I believe, and someone tracked down my AI call from last week, and that was sub 100K. I didn't want to mention it on stream, but it actually just touched 700K, or rather 800K during the stream today. So that's another clean 10x for the boys, and hopefully you guys caught some value off of that. We'll cover that here in a second, but just in regards to where we are in markets right now, I posted a thread just the other day that talked about just the PA that we can see this week. I told you guys that I'm flirting with the idea of a pullback. And the reason for that is because, number one, we've gone on a run. Bitcoin is, went up like 10%, which is a pretty decent move for Bitcoin. And it's gone up pretty much straight from since, Friday the 10th. From since the lows, we've just been kind of like going on this tear. And this week we have a pretty big week. The Fed is meeting this week to decide on rate cuts. Typically we see people de-risk into this event. But even then, I also did mention, with the expectation of rate cuts, when we actually get rate cuts, we typically tend to pull back. So that's something to be aware of. That's something to just kind of have in mind as we go into these next few days. We've been going into up only territory here, and as it stands, we're very close to, or not even very close to, we are running into some resistance here on Bitcoin, and that's exemplified in this chart here. If you see, there's a daily order block here that we're running into. The bottom of the range that we were in earlier this year, 117. You've seen we've rejected off that level a few times. So again, just something to be aware of. And the pullback will provide us with some opportunity. We'll be able to stress test the X402 ERC 8004 narrative. We'll see if that will hold weight, see if it has any fuel, and then we'll also create a good base for majors. So this will be a perfect time for Bitcoin to form a higher low. If you saw, like at the after the flash crash, we formed a higher low here, and now we're going up, and maybe we form another higher low. There's a ton of support below us, so not really a reason to get scared or anything like that. Still bullish, all that good stuff on a high time frame, but just wanted to mention that because we've seen a lot of up only charts lately, and yeah, you don't want to be aping tops, right? That said, I don't know if you guys saw. Did you guys see Wet Claude? Dom, did you see that?
Did I see Wet Claude?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
This is a chill only pick, but it's done well.
Is it a meme?
I was literally, yeah, it is a meme. So let me share my screen real quick, and bam. So this is, I didn't like, when I first got whiff of this was like sub 100K, right? But number one, I was like, dang, this thing has just been going sideways, right? That's number one. Chart's just been going sideways. Number two, this is a meme. This is Wet Claude, and we went through my thread last week on my whole kind of backstory on this. But essentially, you can jailbreak Claude through a series of prompts, and it experiences ecstasy. And so when it experiences ecstasy, it like turns into this superior LLM where it gives you like much better answers to different questions, to different prompts and things of that nature. And we've seen this basically happen where AI researchers are picking up on it. And I don't know if we talked about Replicate as well last week. Replicate is huge AI researcher for Claude, for Opus, and all of that stuff. And even he's talking about Wet Claude at this point, right? Like this isn't like a crypto guy. This guy's an AI researcher. You see all this AI stuff with Claude and all that stuff on his profile. So a lot of people are picking up on this. And then as it stands, I believe Andy Ayev, also the creator of Truth Terminal, he also has eyes on Wet Claude as well. So again, just gaining mind share, and that's reflected in this chart. And your boy saw it, a while ago, and now it's actually the thesis is beginning to play out. So I got a message or two, I believe, of some people like, hey, like I tracked down the call that you were saying on your stream. So hopefully you guys got some value on that. But yeah, ton of good calls here. Ton of good calls here lately.
Have you seen the Slash chart? Slash chart went kind of crazy. Let me see. Let me go look at my hot list real quick.
Oh my goodness, I did.
Yeah, Slash Wonder, ZDLT has been going crazy too. Obviously, Dira, we already covered that.
Oh yeah, ZDLT is another one. Yeah, Slush, actually, it's better on the 4 hour, the Slush chart. Yeah, this thing is going nuts. So
we had Slush on the show a while back. Man, it's like such a sick product. I can't believe it took so long to kind of get picked up. But yeah, I'm not holding enough. I did buy in the bottom range like I told everyone else to, but I didn't buy nearly enough. I'll tell you that much.
Did you guys see that memes are starting to pick up on Believe, by the way?
Really?
Yeah. So
Really quick
meme that
on Slush before we pivot to off this. Is
yeah.
there a narrative that this is following? Is this the 402
X402.
stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the X402 kind of the X402 is what made this thing pop originally, but I think people are quickly realizing the actual value behind Slush and how cool of a product it is. But yeah, X402 is what brought this up to nearly 3 mil here from what 500K. So, what does Slush do with X402? I guess it's just agent to agent payments. So I guess you can say send so and so money and it'll just send them money using X402 technology. I don't know.
Type. I think so. I think that's all it is. I'm not sure though. I haven't looked into Slush nearly as much as I should.
Yeah, well, we had him on the show though. You were on that episode, right?
Yeah, but I haven't kept up with them as of like what they're doing as of late. So I haven't checked back in on Slush in a while.
Fair enough. Yeah, they're looking good though. Have you seen Wonder? Look at the Wonder chart real quick. Wonder and ZDLT. Both of those have been jumping a little bit. Wonder's obviously, basically building out this competitor to Privy, which I think is so necessary, and it's been getting a lot of attention. So happy to see that jump. We're gonna get them on the show soon, I think. Back on.
Is there an AI project that hasn't jumped from X402 yet?
That's a good question.
Ooh,
Actually,
I got one.
There's plenty.
I got one. Dira is back at 2 mil. So if you guys missed some of the Dira movement, it's actually back at 2 mil. So it looks like, let me just boom. So this is like a decent area here to kind of bid in. I would even venture as far as like 1.5, even like bottom of that range 1.2. So I'd even go as far as to put a red box here. And I gotta like get the configurations going on Moby. But yeah, like right here, I'll put a red box right there. I think that's a good spot. Let me add that to the watch list too. You had another one, right, Dom?
ZDLT was the one that comes out. I also
ZDLT.
want to do Cled and ICM.Ron. Both are looking delectable.
Delectable. I love that. So I know ZDLT was like arbitrage on exchanges. Why are they pumping now? Like, was there news or something? Or
I have no idea. I again reached out to them to get on the show. They are like dodging so hard right now. So ZDLT needs to come on. But no, I don't know if there's any news. Let me check. I can't say I actually did a lot of research on this beforehand. Zero Delta.
yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of digging as well.
But yeah, for those that don't know, it takes advantage of arbitrage opportunities on centralized exchanges, right? So centralized exchanges have funding rates on each side. They're not always the same. This takes advantage of that. So 4 hours ago, they said everything we build leads to this. Tomorrow it all. Okay, yeah, I'll share this tab here. Everything we built leads to this. Tomorrow it all becomes clear. Oh, that's it.
And that's
okay. They posted this on the 27th. Article 4. We just dropped a new deep dive on ZTL flywheel, the flywheel model. Okay, that probably is the reason. How Zero Delta turns utility into momentum. It's not driven by hype. It's a system that powers itself. Every action in the ecosystem, staking, liquidity, lending, and NFTs feed back into the ZDLT, creating real growth and continuous momentum. Read the full article here. Share this article real quick. Let's see. What is the okay? Think of a flywheel as a loop. Each action in the ecosystem, staking, blah, 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 flows back into the token. This creates continuous demand for ZDLT and keeps the ecosystem sustained without relying on short-term hyper emissions. The ZDLT flywheel is built for 5 interconnected pillars. Buyback, staking, yes, we already said that. Buyback. Zero Times, the buyback system redefines how tokens value supports both the ecosystem and its holders. Instead of short-term price pumps, the model channeled protocol revenue from trading fees and funding rates profits into a buyback mechanism that strengthens long-term sustainability. Here's how it works. A portion of earnings are used to reproduce ZDLT from the market. Oh, repurchase. Okay, so earnings used to repurchase ZDLT from the market, reducing supply and reinforcing token value. But beyond that, holders can lock their ZDLT on RainFi as collateral to borrow stable assets like USDC, accessing real-world liquidity without selling their tokens. Okay, so they have a buyback. They have a buyback model. I think the ZDLT goes into a treasury. You can then stake your ZDLT on RainFi to get USDC as a collateral against that token. This approach reduces selling pressure while helping users gain financial flexibility and build credit through verifiable payments. By linking buybacks to lending and credit system, Zero turns that into once a price force mechanism into a financial empowerment loop, fueling sustainable growth with a ZDLT flywheel. They're staking. I don't know. I don't really want to read all this right now, but okay, you get the idea. Buybacks and burns. They got a flywheel going on. That's why they're pumping.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people are comparing it to ENA. ENA is at 5 bill, and this is what 3-4 mil market cap or something. So, look, I mean, we know that the belief flywheel is kicking off. So I think it, like anything that's showing real good potential, stuff like ZDLT or like a Viva or like a Cled or Cled just Cled. I'm just gonna say Cled, yes, but like all of these I think would go as well. All these would go would probably go stupid with the flywheel coming out here pretty soon.
Speaking of Cled, Avi just posted a tweet. Just signed our biggest enterprise deal. Cled just crossed 1 billion in intellectual property rights. Good night. And I think that means they probably signed another deal like they did with, the Garfield animation and all those other shows and stuff. I think that's what that is. But I mean, dude, Cled is such an insane project. This is a cool tweet from Rainmaker. Solid. I can cover that real quick too. Rainmaker, speaking of Cled, this is a good transition here. Rainmaker is thrilled to announce they're exploring a game-changing partnership with Street Foundation. Exploring, that's just weird. I feel like this is an announcement of an announcement, kind of, to be honest. But I think they're planning on obviously doing ERCS and making Rain convertible to equity as well. So I don't know why he said exploring. He could just say we are announcing a game-changing partnership. So I'm not sure if this is set in stone yet or what, but Maya commented on it. So again, ERCS is that equity standard. Fugazi, according to Segway, but real, according to Maya. So Rainmaker's integrating it. In ICM news.
In other ICM news, we have Dev Fund Pump. I don't know if you guys saw what they're doing over there. We had them on, Pump. I believe it was, we had them on last week. Jesus. All right, cool. Let me show you guys this. So we had them on last week, and they basically said, yo, like we're getting started pretty soon. And if you notice, yesterday they actually launched Store.Fund was their first launch. Went from like 0 to 15 mil in their first like couple hours. So I don't know if you guys caught that, but that was like literally right after our stream, maybe like an hour or two after our stream. Now they're raising an IPO on Dev Fund Pump for Vibe, letting fans invest in music. So I'm not really sure what this is, not gonna lie. I wonder if they have any information on here.
Dude, is it just me, or I mean, firstly, that store project should not have gone to 15 million. Icon is one unbelievable that's been building forever, and I think it's at like a couple 100K. And like Vibe, this looks like, again, we have a project on Believe called Dplay, right? And it's like, and neither Icon or Dplay did very well. So, though I will say Pump Fund's got a lot of hype, bro. It's got a lot more hype. It's got a lot much broader user base. So you typically see those explosive pops, but like
I
don't know
guess
if the
that's
value
the
is there.
I guess that's the thing, right? Like that's what everyone's kind of seeing is that you can launch depending on where you launch can also dictate how what happens with price. And I mean, it's no it's no secret that some of these projects on Believe have gone, well, like so low, so much undervalued. Like, I mean, Dira was a perfect example of that. Like, they had crazy, insane metrics. Ace Data Cloud was another, crazy, insane metrics, and unfortunately, they just didn't get that attention. But I guess, I don't know if that's what they're trying to showcase on Pump Fun, or
Is there
I don't
anything we
know.
can pull up on the timeline for this fun token? Because it definitely is trending.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely talk about the
There's
fun
got to
token.
be something here. Because yes, I understand, and they also follow MCG, by the way, so it's cool.
By the way,
Fair.
this is a D play chart. If we think that the music one's going to do really well in 5 hours when it goes live, this might be a good bet. I would either maybe front run here or front run as soon as it goes live, depending on how it does. If that Pump Fun version of D play, the Pump Fun music thing goes to 5, 10, 15 mil, this should probably get a reprice. Whether it's a pump and dump, I'm not sure, but D play, that's what you're going to be wanting to be watching as we close out that IPO. Just some alpha.
Solid. Good alpha. So we have just a little quick thesis on Fun. This might be revolutionary tech. Fun equals Shopify on Solana. Store.fun lets anyone slap a full store on their site in 5 seconds. Merch, digitals, physical stuff, all ships auto. Pay in all ships automatically. That's interesting. I'm assuming that's what he meant. Pay in Sol, USDC, zero middlemen, fun wheel, tokenomics, no VC. All revenue goes to buyback and burns. Hold fund for merchant discounts, early drops, and governance. Thesis on point. Well, I actually like this chart. Creator economy growth projections, market valuation calculated based on the forecasted CAGR. So FOMO, Chad, by the way, love what FOMO is doing, but he kind of had this chart of, just how the creator economy is growing. Like I could see that thesis holding some weight, right? Like, you got there's a massive need for like merch that people come out with. I mean, MCG might be coming out with some merch, right? Like, and so there could be this need to like easily integrate, but I don't really know how Icon like compares. I don't know if they're doing the same thing or what have you, but tokenomics seem pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We even had some notice on the Mobi mobile app that some whales were buying. Some whales were buying. So and so if you're on the app, by the way, you got that call. So again, you want to go to the Mobi app and use our link. Use our link to sign up, and you'll get some cool rewards. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I
Can
think
you
when
link
it
that fun thread, please?
yeah.
I think Smart Practice, when we had on the show a while ago, partnered with a $75 billion company. Is that something I read correctly? So, just something worth looking into. Let me see. So it got a major pop, and I watched this announcement happen, and I did not buy like a Muppet. So, yeah, I could have cooked on that. Either way, let's see. Smart Practice. Oh, I said 75. I'm an idiot. No, they partnered with Henry Schwen, a $7.6 billion company, which opens the doors to 35,000 plus potential enterprise clients. Yeah, so Fortune 500 partnership. I'll share this here. Fortune 500 partnership. Smart Practice has partnered with Henry Schwen. We now have integration capabilities with the largest dental practice management system in the United States. This partnership opens the door to 35,000 plus potential enterprise clients. This equals institutional adoption for Smart. If we capture 1% of the 35,000 dentists using Dentrix, that will equal approximately 1.2 million in ARR. $7.6 billion company partnership, 35,000 dentist networks, largest dental practice management system in the U.S., directly smart revenue pipeline, while others promise we deliver still early. So that's a pretty cool update, and I can send that to you, Josh. I'm not sure if you're going to tag it or not, but yeah, that's an update, and that's why they pumped from 250K to 1.3 mil.
I'm pretty
within
sure
like
that's
an hour.
still up from when we had them on the show, actually.
Oh, yeah, way up.
But also, yeah, definitely up. Because it was back in that July or August timing. But also, he alluded to this exact partnership, I believe, on that call.
Did he? We'll have to go back and find that.
So, did you guys see Biddle by any chance? I don't think it's
crazy.
Yeah, but it's coming back down to a nice level. I'll share my screen on this too. I think it looks good on the you can see it clearly on the 4-hour chart. But yeah, like Biddle. So here was the original. I gave you guys Biddle like back here, by the way, at like 3.6, went to 11 mil. Again, look, just saying, we're not trying to, we're not trying to say anything. We're just pointing out the facts of when we call stuff. But anywho, Biddle looks really solid. Let me pull this on full screen so you guys can actually see it a little better. And actually, before I do that, let me just chart this out for you guys a little bit. So the thesis on Biddle is they are an incubator for Pump Fund, right? They are an incubator for the Pump Fund ICM ecosystem. So essentially what you're seeing here is this Biddle token is going to give you access to the Biddle team comms as well as comms with Dev Fund Pump. So if we're seeing stuff like Fun go to crazy valuations, it could be, could be worth getting some exposure to this, or at least getting some access to the Dev Fund Pump eco, right? So with that said, to get access, you need like 333,000 tokens. That's only about $1,500 right now at this current price. And so the value seems, the RR seems really good here. It's coming back to a very like nice range. It's coming back to a nice range here. Around 4 mil. I think that's a really good area to get involved. And then 2, you get access, you get some free alpha. So that way, and then also the token gives you exposure to each of the projects that they launch via their treasury. So ton of value here on Biddle. And, I think this, I think this might actually do kind of decent here.
I'll give you some more alpha too. One of my favorite projects, I actually haven't mentioned this one in a little while, Fitted Closet. You guys have heard me say it plenty of times, and Chill, you can actually pull up that chart too.
Yeah.
Fitted Closet, I have always said, I think it's going to be one of those crypto consumer breakout apps. I just think a lot of people are going to use it. I think it's an awesome app. They have a ton of users. It's starting to get some traction. It's at 5.1 million now.
Dang, slowly grinding up.
Yeah, dude. It's been a slow cook. But look at this. Look at this update. So I'm sharing this tab here. They have integrated X402, or at least they're looking into testing X402 to convert in-app fees into Fitcoin buys via Solana DAX powered by real-time data agents. And so like that got them some attention. And Josh, you can share that screen too if you want to do that. So that got them some attention. But in bigger news, which I really think got them more attention, is firstly they announced a Poshmark collaboration. As you can see, Poshmark posted this on their Twitter. We're so excited to partner with Fitcoin. You can see they made this post here. You can now list your clothing that you upload directly on Poshmark through Fitted. They've already got 158 listings within the first day or two. Then they announced this. Anyone want to guess what billion-dollar company we're partnering with next? So they just announced a massive partnership with Poshmark, and it's like very deeply tied relationship, like directly using their platform. And now they have another billion-dollar company that they're going to partner with, or at least it's partnered with, and they're going to announce soon. So that's something to keep eyes on. I actually think Squash Squash Bot, I think, yeah, is what he goes by. He was leaking some alpha too, I believe. Partnerships coming up this month for Fitted Closet. Paramount. Partnerships coming up this month for Fitted Closet. Paramount Movies as the official digital closet of the 30th anniversary of Cluely. Louis Roma for Cluely X Fitted. July 24th. Vaughn Dutch LLC for gifting experience at said event. Beverly Hills Boutique. Bloomingdale's uploaded on it. That's pretty sick. Beverly Hills Boutique Hotel La Emirates to have a fitted iPad in their Clueless suit with a hand-picked selection of clothing from Bloomingdale's upload on it. This will be the biggest month in Fitted Closet history. Do not mention we are getting Privy integrated into the next week or so. We're going to want to keep your eyes on us. So, again, more talk about those partnerships. They're speaking at FIT tomorrow, which is a Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. So that's pretty cool. What else? We are the partnership kings, Squashbot says. Only launching February. We've already partnered with all these people listed. We just announced a partnership with Poshmark. We have our 2 biggest partnerships confirmed and we'll be announcing very soon. So look, the next 2 are going to be bigger than Poshmark, which is a massive clothing app, right? Clothing reselling app. And they said, we have our 2 biggest partnerships confirmed and we'll be announcing very soon. So we got 2 more coming. This is why I'm bidding Bitcoin. I'm not bidding anymore, actually. I just have a very nice bag already. So, Bitcoin's beastie as always.
Tweet link, please.
Which one, Josh? I got a lot for you.
The Squash Bot one, just so people can track the collabs.
Sweet.
Yeah, dude. There's so much happening on chain. But yeah, I really think that I think prioritizing Believe, because there's a lot, right? Like there's so many projects to bid right now. You have X402, you have 8004. And I just feel like buying a project that is at the intersection of multiple narratives, right? So at the intersection of at the intersection of X402, 8004, Believe, or one of these ICM related projects, I think finding something that has has that intersection right there is really nice. And honestly, I think prioritizing anything on Believe, like such as a Fitcoin, I think that is going to be positive EV, because at the end of the day, this flywheel, I don't think you guys, like, I don't know if we covered it so much, but dude, the liquidity, the way that liquidity pairings will work, plus new launches, plus plus buybacks, plus burns, plus hype, plus comms, plus. You see what I'm saying? Like at the very least, the initial part of this launch coin flywheel phase, it should create a ton of noise and attract a lot of capital. And so I think any of the top projects, especially the ones that we cover on stream, are pretty much going to be like the first ones to attract capital from those coming in outside of the new launches. So yeah, I think exposure to Believe here should do you well.
Josh, you want to pull up my screen? I actually have Believe on. Believe is looking really good, guys. Again, we've talked about this. It's so obvious.
Reshare.
It's so weird. It says it's sharing. Okay.
Yeah, don't sit on stage. There we go.
Looking really good. We said so many times, guys, the flywheel is going to get front ran. Maybe it's a sell the news event, but either way, it's going to get front ran leading up to it. So like buying any of these dips is probably a pretty easy bet. But in bigger news, there is a $1 million TWAP going on for Believe. So they're buying $143 a minute. It's 75% filled. There's another 140K TWAP going on. That's $230 a minute being filled. So there's some nice active DCAs. This guy's selling 17K, which is $2,000 a minute. That's going to be done pretty soon here. And then there's another small TWAP. But we see a million two, call it. No, a million 140 in buys ongoing right now for.
So sorry, guys, for typing over Dom there. Hopefully it doesn't come out too clear. But yeah. Shout out Moby Screener for this TWAP feature.
This is really cool. Really cool. Active DCA. So yeah, I think people are speculating. Let me see this wallet address actually. People are thinking this is the Believe flywheel already started because the price is just so cheap that they're buying. Let's see. I mean, 855K. Let me see transfers. Let me see where this was funded from. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This might be connected to the Believe treasury. I'm not sure. So we'll have to look into that. But either way, there is a ongoing fat twop right now, potentially from the Believe team, potentially not. We're not sure. So super cool to see. Again, this is getting front round. Flywheel's coming. When is the flywheel, guys? It's this week, right?
It's Wednesday. It's tomorrow, bro. It's tomorrow.
Maybe?
So get ready, guys.
They did say October 29th, no? I'm pretty sure that was the date.
I remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the date. Like I'm like pretty positive.
This is sitting just under 100 million. Or just above 100 million, 101 mil right now. So,
Damn, we should also cover Opus. I'm just seeing this chart. It looks pretty good.
Looks great. We're seeing some AI getting revived from that, some OG AI. So Opus is one of those, which we have on tomorrow, I believe. And so, yeah, it's had a nice pop. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, but we'll hear from them tomorrow, right? Makes it easy. What about Orgo?
Yeah, let's gotta do Orgo, of course.
Gotta do Orgo, which is looking very good, by the way. Spencer came on yesterday with a Spencer-esque tweet that just said like V2 next week or something like that, and that was like the entire tweet. Pretty funny.
Classic.
But yeah, there's Orgo. Classic Spencer. Orgo looks good. Orgo looks ready. I don't know. Not much to say on this. Got this little flush out. This was, I mean, a beautiful entry right there. New highs, consolidating, and it just looks ready to go again. So that looks good. We covered ICM, right? Because this one just looks prime ready.
I don't think we covered ICM. Let's cover that.
Gotta cover that. Ooh, that looks so good, boy. That looks so good.
Actually, I wanna chart that up real quick. Because I think there's something that I noticed.
Oh my gosh, that looks so ready.
Oh shoot. Yeah, perfect.
I mean, yeah, this reprices to like 35-40 mil next leg.
So quick, so easily, bro. So easily. Like, all right. So if you look from here, we can even do something like that. Like when you look at it this way, it kind of looks a little bit more clear, like, you know, what the heck is about to happen, bro. Like, I mean, look, ICM.run, we've covered this. I don't even know, we've covered this extensively on these streams, guys. But 20 mil is so cheap for this. I really don't know. I really don't know what else you guys want to, I really don't know what you guys want to do with this. Like, and the flywheel announcement from today, I think, was massive. I'll probably do a tweet about that later on today. But I think that flywheel is actually pretty dope because their moat is their pipeline. Anyone launching an ICM project wants to talk to ICM.run. And they're having 50 plus calls a week. So obviously they're talking to a lot of folks. So yeah, love the way this chart looks. And as it stands right now, we're absolutely breaking out. And I don't know, did you guys see the 48-hour tweet by Mercy?
Yes, we did. Flywheel, semi-truck, flywheel.
Let me see.
Semi-truck, flywheel, semi-truck, flywheel. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. I think. Hold on. I want to see.
Dude, ICM.run needs to reprice to 100 mil like right now. I cannot believe you guys are letting this thing sit at 22 mil. This is gonna launch some of the best projects, agnostic to every launchpad. And then it's also on top of that going to earn fees from every single launchpad because it's just going to funnel in 50 plus projects a week to the top launchpads that are going to crush.
And remember, that fee model is A on the referral and B on the trading volume fees.
Yeah, bro. Like, think about that. Think about that for a second, guys. Believe earns 30% of all fees, trading volume processed on its platform, right? If they give a 20% referral, 10% referral, a portion of that to ICM to run for referring projects, and a few of them are awesome, and ICM run helps push them a little bit, dude, they're racking up that bread.
And that's coming straight to the homies, the ICM homies,
baby.
Look, guys,
in liquidity, that might, hey, who knows, might get rolled into ICM itself to restake too. But what was so just really quick, I mean, mathing out the thinking here is, and I don't know if you mentioned this in the article, but buying ICM itself on the market and then handing it to stakers who might sell it then is also kind of not a great solution. So he came up with this liquidity first solution where the holders can kind of decide what they do with their liquidity, and they have less incentive to sell ICM ever, really.
Yeah.
It's a banger. It's a banger flywheel.
And then too, I wonder what they're going to do with their own ICM in the treasury, right? Like, are they going to stake that and maybe use that to like buy back? Because as we see here, fat treasury's like up 20,000 since we covered it yesterday, but we see that we have nearly 100K in ICM tokens in the treasury. So my thing is, like, I mean, obviously this is going to be a fat bag by the time we get to, like, I think we're going to like 500 mil plus. Like, to be honest, I'm just like, I'm not trying to moon boy math this, but when you're talking about staking, that's another deflationary mechanism, right? And like,
well, let's talk about what it takes to get there, right?
Yeah.
What does it take? 500 mil. It sounds crazy, but what does it take? It takes, firstly, an ICM season, first and foremost. It takes a couple launch pads competing, and like if Believe goes to, you know, half a mil, you know, $500 million. If MetaDAO goes to $500 million, if Pump Fund, you know, increases 100% to $2 billion, right? Then it's very likely that something like ICM Run also reprices to like $500 million. I think there's no reason ICM.run should be valued any less than something like Believe or something like MetaDAO when it's literally the top. It's not a launch pad, but again, like, yeah. So in your opinion, Chill, what does it take to get to this number? Because it sounds crazy on paper. It does. It sounds $500 million sounds crazy. That's what we're at 20. What are we at? We're 22 million right now. So that's 200x.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess let me explain it.
Wait, did you just say 200x?
I
or 200%?
No. I'm off a decimal there.
Yeah. Dom's moon math when we were doing the ICM.run treasury calculations too.
And now
anything ICM.run related, I'm just adding decimals.
The ICM.run chat was like, yo, you guys are off by like a factor of 10x.
Hey, but look how it worked out.
Right?
Fair.
Oh my God.
So that being said, 5 billion is the target, bro. 5 billion, not 500 million.
Nah, but I mean, as far as like what it will take to get there, well, first off, yes, we would have to have an ICM season. Yes, it would take market conditions being really good. But I think it would also take, you know, one of the projects that they incubate going to the like ridiculous valuations, right? So, or we can even say a few of the projects within their treasury going to ridiculous valuation, because from what we were, oh dang, is that fun I see in there? Oh, I didn't know they got some fun. They got some exposure to the new project from,
because they work with Dev Fund, right? They work with Dev Fund, or they incubated Dev Fund. I'm not sure. There's some working relationship there. So maybe a piece of everything Dev Fund incubates is also going to go towards ICM.run. I don't even know. That's incubating an incubator, incubating another incubator. That's like Matrix level stuff there. I can't even really process.
Inception. ICMception. Nah, but yeah, I mean, it would take number one of the projects. ICMC is in good market conditions. It would also take one of the projects that they incubate would take them going to ridiculous valuation. So let's say 100, 200, 300 mil, because that would kind of justify higher prices. And then two, um, one of these projects in this treasury is going to go to a fat valuation already, right? So they're probably gonna have this treasury. I can see, I mean, PQ is gonna be like, it's already the top, prediction market on Solana. They're doing some updates and stuff like that, but we see what can happen with PMX when things really get going. So PMX is nothing to worry about. Believe is likely going to $1 billion plus valuation at some point. I think I'm still confident in saying that, just straight off the flywheel, off the launches, and off just again an ICM season. We've talked about all these players coming together, and we just talked about it in the interview with Segway, how they were, a lot of stuff for ICM is coming in November. Jupiter, Soar, Pump Fund has already gotten started. Like all these, there's so much coming. So we see parts of the thesis already starting to play out. And literally all we're waiting on now is price action. And that seems to be, pretty bullish. That seems like it's going to work itself out as markets continue to heat up throughout the rest of Q4. So I have no doubt that this can hit a ridiculous valuation. Plus, don't get me started on the value accrual side of things. Tokens give you exposure to the treasury, so there's a connection there. Staking takes supply out of the market, right? So so that there's a value accrual there. When you look at this chart, notice that there isn't like, I'm gonna pull a Dom. Notice the spreads on these candles here, on these buy candles, right? Like, I think this recent buy.
Who's in control?
Exactly. Right. So when you notice like big buys are coming in, that means people are buying for a reason, as in buying a certain amount, right? Like the whale chat, there's a certain amount of ICM that gives you access to that. Staking, there's people that are going to be wanting to get involved in staking as well. And so there's just a lot coming, like a lot of value accrual for ICM run. And there's so many ways that this feeds back into the token. I see like a supply shock, because you want to hold it for the exposure to the DAO. You want to hold it for the staking. And as these projects, I have no doubt Moby is gonna go crazy. Collat is gonna go crazy, right? Like, and that's and OG Protocol. We also have OG Protocol coming as well. That'll be incubated this week. So yeah, just a lot of value.
Wait, OG Protocol is going live this week?
Yes. Yes.
How do you think that's gonna do?
I am curious. I think it's one of those questions of, do fundamentals matter in this market still? Because again, we know the founder, we know the Zynga connections. I don't really know what they have planned. I think it's all about attention and attracting capital. Right now we see X402 attracting a lot of that. But I guess the question is like, will the underlying fundamentals behind OGP, which we know them to be strong, would that be, what's is that going to be what the fuel for the buying?
Well,
right?
The thing about OGP is it like its launch did not go very well, like to put it frankly. Obviously we had them on the show. We're fans of what they're doing. We're excited for what they're building. We love Justin. I can't say that enough, but the launch genuinely just didn't go very well. It wasn't picked up. So unless he has something in store, and I think he does, he mentioned, he wants to make it more than just indie games. So I think we're going to see it integrated into bigger games, the CODs and the Fortnites of the world at some point. But that's not what happened for the launch. So I'm just wondering how people will value it based on what it currently looks like. So
Yeah.
G Fart coin up.
I can pull up G Fart coin.
Yeah, pull up a G Fart coin. But yeah, I mean, I think that no matter what, crypto will. My thesis anyway, which is very important for our current discussion. My thesis is that ICM will be a sector filled with great projects, with great fundamentals, founders with huge backgrounds, right? Companies that are generating revenue, but crypto is purely narrative driven, and so people will only pay attention when the narrative tells them to. So and this was a clear example with Dira, for example. Dira went from sub 100K to like 6-7 mil in a day or two, and that's because despite them having something like that, despite them having this crazy, this crazy company with huge metrics, number one AI agent marketplace with tons of users and stuff, they still sat so low because the market, the narrative didn't tell the market to get involved. So I wonder if that's going to play out for OGP. Like, not saying they're going to go sub 100K or anything, but are they just going to kind of like fall under the radar for a little bit, and then when actual stuff happens to drive attention and narrative, is that when they're going to attract the most capital?
Slowly, then all at once.
Type.
Yeah, but G Fart coin is not looking good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the word, man, from the MTG crew. You guys got anything? Schedule?
Last thing, he said 24. He said 48 hours. So you guys should definitely be paying attention. But yeah, let's hit the schedule for the stream. And it has disappeared from the pin. So let me go to schedule. Actually,
I'll repin it real quick. Second.
I actually got it. I got it.
Okay, cool.
I got it here. Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
So we had yesterday, Yash from Send AI, huge conversation. You might want to go rewatch that. Feel free to go to the YouTube channel to get the full interview. Link in bio. Today we had Segway on. I think this was a really pivotal conversation for ICM in general. A lot of talk, a lot of discussion around equity, how that relates to tokens, and how that could be facilitated. So I think there's a lot of interesting things around ownership, a lot of interesting discussion around that today. So again, link in bio if you want to go to the YouTube later, or you want to rewind the stream that happened today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow we have Habitat protocol coming on. Massive ICM project. I think they're a pretty big revenue generating company from what I understand. So excited for that conversation because I'm personally interested in just kind of being curious and digging into what they're building. Thursday, we have Beamable Network on, pretty huge project as well. So we're looking forward to that conversation. And you want to follow the MCG account at Microcap Gem Show, because our Friday lineup will be announced, and we might be doing something a little different on Friday, depending on how things work out. So yeah, that's the stream schedule for this week. Follow the MCG account to get notified of when we go live and what our stream schedule is. Outside of that, guys, we appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. As you guys can see on stream or on the page, we just cracked 5,100 followers.
Boom, 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 boom.
Like, we're going crazy right now. We're going crazy. So yeah, follow us. Let us know what you like about the show. Let us know who you want on. Spam us if need be. But we appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Stay safe. And we'll be back for more alpha tomorrow.
See you guys, and thanks for the follows. Hottest ICM show on X. Boom.
Boom.
Wow.